welcome to my channel. Welcome to a bit of a how-to, if it works. I have bought some really cheap frames. Let me show you one I've done earlier, and it's not finished. But look, I got a 8x10 frame from my local, it's called Shiploads in Australia. It was $7. It's got the information on the back of this white piece of paper, I think. It doesn't say anything there. It's a 20 by, oh, it says 20 by 2, but it's only 20 by 2, because, you know, anyway. But that's what I'm thinking I'm doing with this. Now, this is the frame that I've got for my peppermint purple. It's 3 photo frame thing. I brought the piece in with me, and well, let's just see what we can do with it. It was 10 bucks. How far wrong can I go with a $10 investment? Okay, so with the frames, you get rid of the plastic, you get rid of the corners, and then these little tabs you need to remove. Well, not, sorry, you don't remove them, you lift them. So some of these are easier than others. You may need a tool. Don't break your nails. They can actually make a bit of a gouge in your finger, so you will potentially be sore unless you can employ a manly man or something like these tweezers. And you just need to get a bit of a lift, and then you can lift them reasonably easily. Alright, now get that up. And this is where the magic's going to happen, because I'm not removing really anything. I'm going to be using everything that's in the frame. So the mounting frame I'm not going to use, because this is going to be quite a snug little fit. So what I want to do is put this in and find where my corners are. Okay, you ready? You get your piece of paper and you put it back in. Because this is going to help you line everything up and see where we're at. So, you ready? You're going to flip and you're going to look at your lines, and I'm crooked down the bottom. So you just need to pull it over a little bit, and then we're going to do some fancy folding. So this is kind of like wrapping Christmas presents, which you need to lift up and then do some folding. And again, we're going to check it. I might have to trim this. I may trim this, I may not. We'll see how we go. But there's some of the corner. And we're going to check it again. Okay, I need to tweak this corner here. Now this will actually make probably more sense when you've got more structure behind it. Now, what you could do, you could actually string this. It depends on you. It depends on your ability, whether you can string or not. You might not be able to string. You might not want to string. But let's just see how this looks. Yes, if you want a professional finish, you could pay for a proper frame. And this bunching up behind may cause me lots of issues later down the track. So I'm very much open to change. And these are... You need to be an octopus for this kind of stuff. Alright. Okay. There is the matte border. That's also going to go in. Now this is going to be helping to push things down because we've still got to fit that card in. And if I want to make any changes or I want to repurpose this in any way, I might want to use this at a later date. Now I don't actually have one of those beveled cutters, but that is something that you could do, is trim your mat. Just checking, I think there's only one at the top. There we go. Alright, so that's going to fit in. Now, it's not going to lock in as tight as it did without the fabric there. And I'm going to pull this. Now, it is only around the piece of paper. You could also do it around the actual card. So you've got a bit more that you can lever. And I may do that too. I'm not wholly convinced yet. But, how's that look? Okay, so I've got it too much down here, so I need to pull it down. That crease is showing and it's a little bit saggy there. But for a cheap frame, and the back isn't in tight either. For a cheap frame, $10. Look at that. You know, I've got almost a fully finished object. Okay, so this is just sitting on top. Okay, so I need to pull this corner down a bit, and that will flatten when it's pressed. Where are we going? No, I need to pull it down a bit more. It's getting there, a bit better. But I haven't had to trim the fabric yet. Can still do that. And I may even bring this into work if it's good enough. You never know. So I'm gonna... There we go. See, this kind of can give it a bit of structure from the outside. The other thing I was thinking of doing actually was cutting up a cardboard box, but the lines are never going to be quite as straight as the mat that comes with it or anything else. So this is where it's going to get a little bit tricky because you've now got fabric in here. Okay, so what I want to do is use the tweezers and get a little bit of leverage happening. Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3, and 4 is there. Scoosh that up just a bit. Here's the next one. And I know you're gonna get the tongue out of the mouth in a minute. Hang on. I've got to get it out of the way and push down again. And it's fiddly. You will need tools. Nope. Now, if you were at a framer's, they actually remove these. They've got a special kind of gun that they use to put these in. That's that one, that's that one. Turn it around. So they actually just kind of push this down and they go bang, bang, bang with each of these little things. you just don't have these kind of tools at home. Now this is going to be trickier, so I'm just going to try and find the little suckers and bend them a little bit more, because they're, yeah, and I've got fabric I need to pull out of the way. Come here. It's fiddly. Have you ever watched Stitcherista framing? Yeah, it's a doozy. Now I've got to make sure. Ooh! I've got that up the top. Ooh, there goes my tea. There we go. We are in. I'm not locking it off yet. There we go. Look, it isn't quite straight. I'm going to take it out again, but I'm not going to do it on camera. But you get the idea. Okay, so that is one way to do it. You put everything back in and it forms the frame for you. What I'm actually going to do, and I may even speed this up, is take this out and I'm going to put the mat inside and straighten it on the mat, and we will go from there. So I need it, because this isn't going to sit. You're doing everything in reverse, basically. It's a little bit of a nightmare. So you can't see things, and that's where the problem lies. It's more of a level. And again, it's the hospital corners will allow that to lie down a lot flatter than not. As I said, you could trim. Can you tell I've been in boarding school? I think that's where I learned my hospital corners. How to make a bed when you had to use proper sheets, or flat sheets even. For the days of elasticated bottom sheets. Okay, I'm going to put that on top. Now, as I said, you could stitch and you just do a very kind of loose lace, but this will keep it all together as well. It's up to you how much effort you want to put in, and I think I'm going to swap that around. Here's the top. That was too easy. What have I done? That was definitely easier. Okay. See how it looks. Oh, I'm really happy with that. Actually, I'm really happy with that. So, with the tweezers, don't break your nails. Fold them down. The noise is just the metal hitting the metal. Done! Look at that. That could be hung up as it is. Try and get my... There we go. A bit less of the shine. Look, $10. 15 minutes. One video or two. Two kind of run-throughs of how to put it into the frame. There is a bit of sagging, I suppose you could say. It's not tense, it's not tight. It's certainly not drum tight. I could get in and I could pull a bit more on the side. I could take an awful lot longer to just tease that out, or because it's got a little bit of texture from that. But look, there is, you know, a simple way to frame your work, get it up on the wall instead of having it in a bag. Okay, and I'm actually quite pleased with that. This is something I worked on all of 2020. I came into it at week 11, so that would be here. I think I actually came into it at week 9 and my things didn't arrive until week 11, and then COVID hit here. I got my phrase from Doctor Who and I initialed in the box that I actually couldn't see the stitches in. I think it was one of these two. The colour of the thread was the colour of the grey almost. It was really hard to actually see the stitches. And I can see them. I know they're there. I know they're all right too, I hope. Yeah, some of them were interesting. The patterns are gorgeous. Certainly loved working on them. Yes. I didn't quite do this one the way it was called for because there was a phobia with clowns at some point with some of the group, and I actually preferred the non-clown version. What else did I make some changes on? There was something about butts. Oh yeah, this one here. I think it was that one. And I said, I don't want to be looking at butts because my husband has an image with his ex of a hot air balloon in the shape of an ass, you know, with a G-string. And I didn't want to be reminded of her. So somebody else suggested dog noses. And I was like, yeah, I can live with dog noses. So it's dog noses. So there it is, in all its glory and reflection. How cool! I'm really kind of chuffed with that. I am. Very, very subtle. Brought this to my stitching group today and it was like, yeah, that's really cool. I know it's cool. I did this. I did a thing. And now it's framed. So, get to your discount store. Check out the frames. Find something that fits. You may even get a bigger one and get a mat. Pay for your mat to fit your piece of work in a colour that you want it to pop in. I had a look at this in neutral pine look, white and black, and the black was the one that made it pop better. The white would have left it looking too washed out. Now I've got the black border inside, and you just balance it. If it's slightly off top and bottom, you just balance it and it works. Now this one, as I say, this I could have straightened it. Either way it doesn't fit, so I need to get a mat to fit this one. But either way it doesn't fit, and I kind of liked that it's tipped up and at an angle. It's not quite a shadow box. I don't have toys that I could put in the bottom, so I'm not quite sure how I'm going to finish this yet, but it is a little bit closer now that I've got a frame that actually fits. So yeah, there's that. And it's better than being lost in a bag. I don't know what I'm going to do with this at all. No idea. Because these are not my elements, really. This is my element, the Doctor TARDIS. But these would not be my elements. If we had a choice that we could have chosen what the elements were, then maybe I could have really made it sing. But we didn't. It was a stitch along that we did that I didn't really know what was in for, but because I saw the TARDIS was the first one, it was like, oh, I'm in. Now I'm a bit more kind of, yeah, I'll be in-ish. Let me see how it works, you know, because I'm a cynic. But yeah, there were a couple of cheap frame ideas, and yeah, see what you think. Give it a go, and share your work with me. Alright, thanks for watching. Bye for now.
Bye.
May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face, and the rain fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand.